Question 1. When is fuel consumption at its highest? C. When you're accelerating. Accelerating uses a lot of fuel, so always try to use the accelerator smoothly. Taking your foot off the accelerator allows the momentum of the car to take you forward, especially when going downhill. This can save a considerable amount of fuel without any loss of control over the vehicle. Question 2. Why have red routers been introduced in major cities? B. To help the traffic flow. Inconsiderate parking can obstruct the flow of traffic, and so make traffic congestion worse. Red routes are designed to prevent this by enforcing strict parking restrictions. Driving slowly in traffic increases fuel consumption and causes a buildup of exhaust fumes. Question 3. What makes your tires illegal? B. If they have any large, deep cuts in the side wall. Your tires may be of different treads and makes. They can even be second-hand, as long as they're in good condition. They must, however, be intact, without cuts or tears. When checking the side walls for cuts and bulges, don't forget to check the side of the tire that's hidden from view, under the car. Question 4. Why should you try and park in a secure car park? B. It helps deter thieves. Whenever possible, leave your car in a secure car park. This will help deter thieves. Question 5. How much more fuel will you use by driving at 70 miles per hour, compared with driving at 50 miles per hour? B. About 15%. Your vehicle will use less fuel if you avoid heavy acceleration. The higher the engine revs, the more fuel you use. Using the same gear and covering the same distance, a vehicle traveling at 70 miles per hour will use about 15% more fuel than it would at 50 miles per hour. However, don't travel so slowly that you inconvenience or endanger other road users. Question 6. How can you reduce the chances of your car being broken into when leaving it unattended? A. Take all valuables with you. When leaving your car, take all valuables with you if you can. Otherwise, lock them out of sight. Question 7. Where would parking your vehicle cause an obstruction? B. In front of a property entrance. Don't park your vehicle where it may obstruct access to a business or property. Think carefully before you slow down and stop. Look at road markings and signs to ensure that you aren't parking illegally. Question 8. How can you reduce the environmental harm caused by your motor vehicle? D. Keep engine revs low. Engines that burn fossil fuels produce exhaust emissions that are harmful to health. The harder you make the engine work, the more emissions it will produce. Engines also use more fuel and produce high levels of emissions when they're cold. Anything you can do to reduce your use of fossil fuels will help the environment. Question 9. What can you expect if you drive using rapid acceleration and heavy braking? B. Increased fuel consumption. Using the controls smoothly can reduce fuel consumption by about 15%, as well as reducing wear and tear on your vehicle. Plan ahead and anticipate changes of speed well in advance. This will reduce the need to accelerate rapidly or brake sharply. Question 10. Why do MOT tests include an exhaust emission test? B. To help protect the environment against pollution. Emission tests are carried out to make sure your vehicle's engine is operating efficiently. This ensures the pollution produced by the engine is kept to a minimum. If your vehicle isn't serviced regularly, it may fail the MOT emissions test. Question 11. You're carrying two 13-year-old children and their parents in your car. Who's responsible for seeing that the children wear seat belts? B. You, the driver. Seat belts save lives and reduce the risk of injury. If you're carrying passengers under 14 years old, it's your responsibility as the driver to ensure that their seat belts are fastened or they're seated in an approved child restraint. Question 12. You're carrying an 11-year-old child on the front seat of your car. They're under 1.35 meters, 4 feet 5 inches tall. What seat belt security must be in place? C. They must use a suitable child restraint. As the driver, it's your responsibility to make sure that children are secure and safe in your vehicle. Make yourself familiar with the rules. When children are carried on the back seat, there are a few very exceptional cases when an adult seat belt can be used instead of a correct child restraint. Question 13. How can you reduce the risk of your vehicle being broken into at night? A. Leave it in a well-lit area. Having your vehicle broken into or stolen can be very distressing and inconvenient. Avoid leaving your vehicle unattended in poorly lit areas. Question 14. How can you avoid wasting fuel? A. By having your vehicle serviced regularly. If you don't have your vehicle serviced regularly, the engine will gradually become less efficient. This will cause increased fuel consumption and, in turn, an increase in the amount of harmful emissions it produces. Question 15. What does it mean if your vehicle keeps bouncing after you sharply press down and release on the bodywork over a wheel? B. The shock absorbers are worn. If you find that your vehicle bounces as you drive around a corner or bend in the road, the shock absorbers might be worn. To test your shock absorbers, sharply press down and release above each wheel. If the vehicle continues to bounce, take it to be checked by a qualified mechanic. Question 16. When should you check the engine oil level? A. Before a long journey. An engine can use more oil during long journeys than on shorter trips. Insufficient engine oil is potentially dangerous. It can lead to excessive wear, mechanical breakdown and expensive repairs. Most cars have a dipstick to allow the oil level to be checked. If not, you should refer to the vehicle handbook. Question 17. How will a roof rack affect your car? D. Fuel consumption will increase. A roof rack increases your car's wind resistance. This will cause an increase in fuel consumption, so you should remove it when it isn't being used. An aerodynamically designed roof rack or box will help reduce wind resistance to a minimum, but the rack or box should still be removed when it isn't in use. Question 18. You service your own vehicle. How should you dispose of the old engine oil? A. Take it to a local authority site. It's illegal to pour engine oil down any drain. Oil is a pollutant and harmful to wildlife. Dispose of it safely at an authorized site. Question 19. What makes the vehicle in the picture environmentally friendly? C. It's powered by electricity. Trams are powered by electricity and therefore don't emit exhaust fumes. They ease traffic congestion by offering drivers an alternative to using their car, particularly in busy cities and towns. Question 20. What will help you to keep your car secure? B. Registering with the Vehicle Watch Scheme. The Vehicle Watch Scheme helps to reduce the risk of your car being stolen. By displaying high-visibility Vehicle Watch stickers in your car, you're inviting the police to stop your vehicle if it's seen in use between midnight and 5 a.m. Question 21. Why is it a good idea to plan your journey to avoid busy times? A. You'll have an easier journey. No one likes to spend time in traffic queues. Try to avoid busy times related to school or work travel. Question 22. What does fuel-efficient driving achieve? B. Improved road safety. The emphasis is on hazard awareness and planning ahead. By looking well ahead, you have plenty of time to deal with hazards safely and won't need to brake sharply. This will also reduce damage to the environment. Question 23. When are you not allowed to sound your vehicle's horn? C. Between 11:30 p.m. and 7 a.m. in a built-up area. Every effort must be made to prevent excessive noise, especially in built-up areas at night. Don't rev your engine or sound the horn unnecessarily. It's illegal to sound your horn in a built-up area between 11:30 p.m. and 7 a.m., except when another road user poses a danger. Question 24. How should you dispose of a used vehicle battery? C. Take it to a local authority disposal site. Batteries contain acid, which is hazardous, and they must be disposed of safely. This means taking them to an appropriate disposal site. Question 25. What's the legal minimum depth of tread for car tires? B. 1.6 millimeters. Car tires must have sufficient depth of tread to give them a good grip on the road surface. The legal minimum for cars is 1.6 millimeters. This depth should be across the central 3/4 of the breadth of the tire and around the entire circumference. Question 26. What could cause you to crash if the level is allowed to get too low? B. Brake fluid level. You should carry out frequent checks on all fluid levels, but particularly brake fluid. As the brake pads or shoes wear down, the brake fluid level will drop. If it drops below the minimum mark on the fluid reservoir, air could enter the hydraulic system and lead to a loss of braking efficiency or even complete brake failure. Question 27. What could you do to reduce the volume of traffic on the roads? C. Walk or cycle on short journeys. Try not to use your car as a matter of routine. For shorter journeys, consider walking or cycling instead. This is much better for both you and the environment. Question 28. Why are these yellow lines painted across the road? C. To make you aware of your speed. These lines are often found on the approach to a roundabout or a dangerous junction. They give you extra warning to adjust your speed. Look well ahead and do this in good time. Question 29. What should you do when you move off from behind a parked car? B. Look around before moving off. Before moving off, you should use both the interior and exterior mirrors to check that the road is clear. Look around to check the blind spots and, if necessary, give a signal to warn other road users of your intentions. Also look well ahead as you have to steer out into the road to pass the parked car. Question 30. Where should you avoid overtaking? D. Approaching a dip in the road. Oncoming vehicles or other hazards can be hidden from view by dips in the road. If you can't see into the dip, wait until you have a clear view and can see that it's safe before starting to overtake. Question 31. You're waiting to emerge from a junction. The windscreen pillar is restricting your view. What should you be particularly aware of? C. Motorcyclists. Windscreen pillars can completely block your view of pedestrians, motorcyclists and cyclists. You should make a particular effort to look for these road users, don't just rely on a quick glance. Question 32. What should you do when you're approaching traffic lights that have been green for some time? C. Be ready to stop. The longer traffic lights have been green, the sooner they'll change. Allow for this as you approach traffic lights that you know have been green for a while. They're likely to change soon, so you should be prepared to stop. Question 33. Why should you switch your headlights on when it first starts to get dark? B. So others can see you more easily. Your headlights and tail lights help others on the road to see you. It may be necessary to turn on your headlights during the day if visibility is reduced, for example, due to heavy rain. In these conditions, the light might fade before the street lights are timed to switch on. Be seen to be safe. Question 34. You're on a long motorway journey. What should you do if you start to feel sleepy? D. Leave the motorway and stop in a safe place. If you feel sleepy, you should leave the motorway at a service area or at the next exit, and stop in a safe place to rest. A supply of fresh air can help to keep you alert before you reach the exit, but it isn't a substitute for stopping and resting. Question 35. What does the term blind spot mean? D. An area not visible to the driver. Modern vehicles provide the driver with a good view of both the road ahead and behind, using well-positioned mirrors. However, the mirrors can't see every angle of the scene behind and to the sides of the vehicle. It's essential that you know when and how to check the vehicle's blind spots, so that you're aware of any hidden hazards. Question 36. You're traveling along this road. How should you pass the cyclist? C. Leave them plenty of room as you pass. Allow the cyclist plenty of room in case they wobble or swerve around a pothole or raised drain. Look well ahead before you start to overtake, because you'll need to cross the hazard line. Look for entrances where vehicles could be waiting to pull out. Question 37. What should you do if your mobile phone rings while you're driving or riding? C. Leave it until you have stopped in a safe place. It's illegal to use a handheld mobile or similar device when driving or riding, except in a genuine emergency. The safest option is to switch off your mobile phone before you set off, and use a message service. If you've forgotten to switch your phone off and it rings, you should leave it. When you stopped in a safe place, you can see who called and return the call if necessary. Question 38. You're driving on a wet road. What should you do if you have to stop your vehicle in an emergency? B. Keep both hands on the steering wheel. As you drive, look well ahead and all around, so that you're ready for any hazards that might develop. If you have to stop in an emergency, react as soon as you can while keeping control of the vehicle. Keep both hands on the steering wheel so you can control the vehicle's direction of travel. Question 39. You're turning right onto a dual carriageway. What should you do before emerging? C. Check that the central reservation is wide enough for your vehicle. Before emerging right onto a dual carriageway, make sure that the central reservation is deep enough to protect your vehicle. If it isn't, you should treat the dual carriageway as one road and check that it's clear in both directions before pulling out. Neglecting to do this could place part or all of your vehicle in the path of approaching traffic and cause a collision. Question 40. When do windscreen pillars cause a serious obstruction to your view? D. When you're approaching bends and junctions. Windscreen pillars can obstruct your view, particularly at bends and junctions. Look out for other road users, especially cyclists, motorcyclists and pedestrians who can easily be overlooked. Question 41. What should you do as you approach this bridge? B. Slow down. You should slow down and be cautious. Hump bridges are often narrow, and there may not be enough room for you to pass an oncoming vehicle at this point. Also, there's no footpath, so be aware of pedestrians in the road. Question 42. You're waiting to turn right at the end of a road. What should you do if your view is obstructed by parked vehicles? A. Stop and then move forward slowly and carefully for a clear view. At junctions, your view is often restricted by buildings, trees or parked cars. You need to be able to see in order to judge a safe gap. Edge forward slowly and keep looking all the time. Don't cause other road users to change speed or direction as you emerge. Question 43. Why should you use your mirrors when you see a hazard ahead? B. To assess how your actions will affect the traffic behind. You should be constantly scanning the road for clues about what's going to happen next. Check your mirrors regularly, particularly as soon as you spot a hazard. What's happening behind may affect how you respond to hazards ahead. Question 44. What's most likely to distract you while you're driving? A. Using a mobile phone. Except for emergencies, it's illegal to use a handheld mobile phone while you are driving. Even using a hands-free kit can severely distract your attention. Question 45. You're driving your car. When may you use a handheld mobile phone? B. When you've parked safely. It's illegal to use a handheld mobile phone while you are driving, except in a genuine emergency. Even using a hands-free kit can distract your attention. Park in a safe and convenient place before receiving or making a call or using text messaging. Then you'll also be free to take notes or refer to papers. Question 46. What does this curved arrow road marking mean? C. Overtaking traffic should move back to the left. In this picture, the road marking shows that overtaking drivers or riders need to return to the left. These markings show the direction drivers must pass hatch markings or solid double white lines. They're also used to show the route that high vehicles should take under a low arched bridge. Question 47. You're following a large vehicle. Why should you stay a safe distance behind it? C. You'll give the driver a chance to see you in their mirrors. If you're following a large vehicle but are so close to it that you can't see its exterior mirrors, the driver won't be able to see you. Keeping well back will also allow you to see the road ahead by looking past the large vehicle. Question 48. There are objects hanging from your interior mirror. Why could this be a hazard? A. Your view could be obstructed. Ensure that you can see clearly through the windscreen of your vehicle. Stickers or hanging objects could obstruct your view or draw your attention away from the road. Question 49. What should you do before slowing down or stopping your vehicle? B. Use the mirrors. Before slowing down or stopping, check the mirrors to see what's happening behind you. Also assess what's ahead and make sure you give the correct signal if it will help other road users. Question 50. How can you make sure that a satellite navigation (sat-nav) system doesn't distract you when you're driving? D. Set it before starting your journey. Sat-navs can be useful when driving on unfamiliar routes. However, they can also distract you and cause you to lose control if you look at or adjust them while you're driving. Set the sat-nav before starting your journey, or pull up in a safe place before making any changes to it.